Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope everyone is doing well and your Ramadan is going well. So may Allah keep everyone healthy and well and try to make the most of this month of Ramadan. So inshallah, continuing with our subject of Shamail, the book which I'm going through is Muhammad, A Portrait of Perfection. So this is a really good book. So right now we're on chapter 21. So if you want to put the title Shamail, put today's date and put Shamail, the chapter 21, which is the Messenger of Allah's wearing of perfume, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wearing of perfume. So first thing to remember is that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was naturally pleasant smelling. So Prophet was naturally, he would smell very beautiful. He had a very unique fragrance that the Sahabas would mention that they knew that Prophet had sat there or that he'd gone by past a certain place because of the beautiful fragrance that he would leave behind. Also it's mentioned that I think it was mother of Sayyidina Anas, that because they're related, that once she actually collected whilst Prophet was having an afternoon nap, I think it was, and he was sweat was dripping from his face, and then she collected the sweat from his face in a container, and then when the Prophet asked her, inquired what is she doing, she said that they would use that sweat gland and mix it with other things to make perfume, and that perfume would have a beautiful fragrance, anything what they had in terms of like musk or amber or anything like that. So Prophet he was very beautiful, he smelled very beautiful, but however Prophet he used to wear perfume. So this is what the chapter is about. So the first of this is from Sayyidina Anas ibn Malik. So remember why it says Anas ibn Malik, he was a young boy who was given by his mother to serve the Prophet whilst he was in Medina. So he served the Prophet for about roughly 10 years or so, and he would observe what the Prophet would did or what he and then he would serve the Prophet by bringing water or getting a message or something like that. So Anas ibn Malik said the Messenger of Allah used to have a perfume blend, sukkah, from which he would apply perfume. So sukkah is a container that's used for to hold perfume, like a bottle you could say. And then Anas also relates that the Prophet would not refuse perfume. So if a person was offered any perfume, he would not refuse that. The next hadith is from Abdullah ibn Umar, who said, the Messenger of Allah said, there are three things that are not to be refused: cushions, fragrance oil, and milk. So these are three things. If you offer them three, right, you should not refuse. It should be, because it's considered like a luxurious good, and that's fine. Abu Huraira said, the Messenger of Allah said, men's perfume is that whose fragrance is strong and whose color is subtle, whereas women's perfume is that whose color is apparent and whose fragrance is weak. The fragrance which is strong is referred to, I think, like musk or amber or rose water. It has a very strong smell to it. And the color, the subtle color is referred to like saffron or sandalwood, basically. I think, yeah, so that's so there's a few hadiths with regards to the perfume. One of the other things that our teachers mentioned, that the way the sunnah way of applying perfume is mentioned, that person he would get some perfume and he would put it on either on your hand, on your palm, or on the back of it, and then you would rub it with your index finger, and then you would sort of apply to your right eyebrow and to your left eyebrow, and then maybe get some more, and then sort of rub it, and then put it across your face and your body as well. And one of my teachers also mentioned that one of the things about perfume is that you should try and apply it sort of around your clothes, on your back and everything as well. Because the thing with perfume attar is this is one thing that you're really putting on not for yourself but for others. Because when you initially put the attar on, perfume on, you smell the beautiful fragrance, but after a while you kind of lose that smell because it gets used to your nostril, your sensory smell. Whereas if you go in a gathering or if you've left a place, then people will say, oh mashallah, they will be impressed by your beautiful fragrance, beautiful smell. And also it's mentioned that angels, they are attracted to angels as well. So it's very important from an Islamic perspective, from a Sunnah perspective, that we keep ourselves smelling nice, obviously keeping clean at the same time, making sure applying perfume or attar, which is fine. The other thing that you guys asked is, sometimes people ask is, can we use perfume which contains ethanol, which is like a form of alcohol? In the Hanafi madhab, which the madhab that we follow, yes, we can use. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the Shafi'i madhab, it's not permissible for them to use perfume that contains ethanol or alcohol. But in the Hanafi madhab and in some of the other madhabs as well, it's fine to use that. Nothing wrong with that. And when you're using perfume, the other thing to remember is to use good smelling perfume as well. Sometimes if you use too strong perfume, some people have allergic reaction to it. Some people have, they also to use perfume which have beautiful fragrance as well. And so yeah, and the next hadith, the next chapter, which is in the chapter 22, is called the Messenger of Allah's manner of speaking. So the first hadith is from Sayyidina Aisha. She said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not speak uninterruptedly and with haste as you do. Rather, he would speak clearly and distinctly, such that anyone sitting with him would retain what he said. So Prophet ﷺ, he would not talk by sort of interrupting other people, or he would not talk in a very fast so that the listener, are unable to understand what he's saying. But rather, the Prophet ﷺ, he would speak in a very clear and very distinct, so that anyone sitting with him would be able to retain what the Prophet ﷺ said. Anas ibn Malik said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ would occasionally repeat a word thrice, so that it may be correctly understood from him. So sometimes the Prophet ﷺ, he would repeat something 3 times. In a different narration, he mentioned that sometimes when the Prophet ﷺ is saying something, he might say it 3 times. He might like once facing, so especially if there's a large gathering, he would say it facing straight and then facing right and facing left. So that's sometimes when he would have to repeat something. The next hadith is from Al-Hasan ibn Ali, the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ, who said, I asked my maternal uncle, Hind ibn Abi Hala, who used to frequently describe the Prophet ﷺ. So Hassan is asking his maternal uncle, Hind ibn Abi Hala, he said, describe to me how the Messenger of Allah ﷺ spoke. And he replied, his uncle, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ was constantly worried and was always in deep thought. He had no repose. He would remain silent for prolonged periods. He would not speak without a need. He would begin and conclude his speech with the name of Allah Most High. He would speak with comprehensive words, and his words would be distinct. It wasn't inadequate. He was not coarse and ill-mannered, nor one to shame others. He would appreciate blessings, however minute, and he would not criticize any of it. Nonetheless, he would neither criticize nor praise food or drink. The world and whatever was for its sake would not anger him. If, however, a right was violated, then nothing could stand in the way of suppressing his anger until he had defended it. Moreover, he would not get angry for his own sake, nor would he avenge himself on the wrongdoers. When he would point towards something, he would point with his entire palm, so it's like with his palm. And when he was surprised at something, he would turn it over. When he spoke, he would join them with it and strike with the palm of his right hand over on the inside of his left thumb. And when he would get angry at anyone, he would ignore and go to great length to pardon him. And when he would be elated at something, he would lower his gaze. His laughter would mostly consist of smiling, beautifully revealing his teeth like hailstones. So this is a very long hadith from Hind ibn Abi Hala. Hind ibn Abi Hala was the maternal uncle and of Hassan and Hussein. So he was the brother of Fatima. So you might be thinking, does that mean he was the son of Prophet ﷺ? No, he wasn't. Hind ibn Abi Hala was the child of Khadija, the wife of the Prophet, the Ummul Mu'mineen. from previous marriage. So she had children from previous marriage before she was married to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Hind ibn Abi Hala was one of those child, and he lived a long life. He was a Muslim. He was very close to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was somebody who is often quoted. There are numerous narrations from him, very long narrations as well, describing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, including his speech and his behavior and mannerism as well. So he was the maternal uncle of Hassan, like Mama, you could say, brother of Fatima, like a half brother basically. So they are the same mother,